So, going back, I'm probably not going to use the other recordings at all. Going back to what I was talking about, let me just make sure all of these are working the way I want them to. Sprint. Yeah, everything looks good. I want to do some more creative things. And I thought it would be cool to start a Minecraft series I want to keep up with at least bi-weekly. I'm not going to say I'm going to commit to this 100% because I do have a life at the moment. My life is not content creating, and it's just not something I'm going to hold myself to like such a crazy negative if I miss it. But it is just a way to allow my creative outlet and to kind of allow my thoughts, because along with using this as a creative outlet, just doing something where I can edit, I can do something that like requires more skill than I'm usually outputting. It's just a way to kind of let my thoughts out there a little bit more unfiltered than I'm used to. Because I found that although a lot of people really don't care, the people that it might affect are worth talking to, I guess. Not that I'm saying anything like super insightful. I just think it's kind of fascinating how us as humans can really connect to each other just by some stranger saying something on the internet. It does have its negatives, obviously, but at the same time, I don't mind. There's no harm in it. There's no harm in putting my thoughts out there as long as they're not causing anybody actual harm, So where do I want to get situated here? Every time I made a base in Minecraft, it's always in the air. So I kind of want to do the opposite this time. What if we make not underground, because that's kind of more difficult. What if I make it over here? Oh, that's perfect. That little island right there. We can transform that into like an actual base. As far as my creative interests, I'm not sure where I'm gonna go, because I have so many thoughts, so many ideas. When you want to create, and when you have just like such really difficult to work with ADHD like I do, it is something I have been diagnosed with. I'm not just one of those people being like, oh, I totally have ADHD. No, it's something that like cripples my life every now and then. You have so much creativity, but there's also this like crippling sense of self-doubt that just hits you every now and then, because you want to do everything. You really want to be good at everything. But because you don't have the drive, and not even that drive is something that like should be a motivating factor, because discipline in itself should be what allows you to do that. It takes away from the gratification of completing any project. I've had this channel that I have for the past 7 years now, which is insane to think about. I was 13 years old when I started this channel, and I grew up in a generation, where YouTubers that's the coolest, job to have. That's just like the job. It's like millennials and any actor, like a Disney actor or something like that. It was the job that you wanted to have, because you could essentially just play video games and get paid for it. Nowadays you can do a lot more than just play video games, but having that as something that's like, oh, that could be a potential, job position for me, or not a job, but just like a way I can earn income, was something really cool for my 13-year-old self. But as life hit, as I got older, I had other aspirations. You realize that you can do so much more than just like focus towards one thing in content creation. I think now, and I'm gonna talk about him a lot because I am a huge fan and I'm just a genuine nerd for Markiplier. But I think the avenue of creating a movie is kind of shining a light on like content creators, YouTubers in the world. Obviously, we have like very bad examples, like almost any kick streamer being, like it feels. I feel like Kick is a overglorified frat version of YouTube, where all these guys are just like doing drugs or gambling or getting all the girls. Or like, it's not benefiting the world in any way or like in any way or form. It's not allowing new avenues to be open. It's kind of adding that stigma of content creation more and more. But going back to Markiplier, that the whole idea of content creation being this amazing avenue to really create, content creation in itself, like the word itself, you're making something, you're making content isn't necessarily just a movie or a video or a short form like content. It's music, it's a book, it's everything. Content is consumed in so many ways that people don't seem to understand, that it's only now that we're getting like big hits that people are realizing, oh, at the avenue of a content creator allows your creative mind to open in so many more ways. And I understand, like, not everyone wants to be creative, not everyone, because it can be like kind of soul draining. Um, but I also think it's just really cool to see like how us as a society are able to build upon that. There's so many ideas that have already been done, like it's at sometimes you can think, oh, like, oh, why bother do that? Some probably already thought of that, or someone probably already is working on that. But the uniqueness of it is you this whole idea in itself. I and pardon me if I sound like I'm rambling, because I am. But I am also not wanting to not put this out there because it's just kind of thought provoking. Where was I going? I lost my thoughts. Oh yeah, like this idea of starting another Minecraft Let's Play. It's it's been done. Like the reality is, it has been done. There's been YouTubers, there's been streamers, there's been people. There was, back when I was a child, there was the whole Dan TDM, the Stampy Longhead, the Ballistic Squid, like all of those Minecraft Let's Players that sparked interest in Minecraft. They did that, and then there was a dream and everything. It's been done, but the uniqueness is what you are. As much as ideas have been covered, as much as things have happened in the past, there's only one of you, and there's only one way you can do things. Although ideas might be similar, the uniqueness a person brings just by being themselves and having their own ideas is far greater than most people understand. Like, let's say a close friend of mine, does the exact same thing as me. He doesn't have the same thoughts as me. He doesn't have the same, ideologies or ways of thinking, because he's not me. Although he might be doing the exact same thing, what you bring to the table is unique to you because you are you. And I think that's really cool. And that's a lot of things that people don't understand. It is kind of scary to put yourself on the internet, because it is the internet and it is reviled by some of the worst filth of humankind that we can offer. But it also is such a unique avenue of doors to open, because you are able to put your uniqueness out there for other people to enjoy, and you don't know who might come to realize that they enjoy your thoughts and the way you think, and you might realize that you have a lot more in common with people than you might think. Let's see. I need to level this patch out, because I think it'd be cool to have a little house kind of in the water, and then overlooking here, and then maybe later we can expand this side to make a garden. I don't know, guys. I feel like I'm rambling. I mean, I do ramble, but I feel like I ramble on when I'm trying to be deep because my mind strays into so many ways. Um, I don't know. Maybe I should talk about let's do that. Let's talk about the projects I'm working on. Um, I wanted I said this kind of briefly at the beginning, but I want to do this because I want to force myself to be more creative, to be imaginative, but also say things out loud so that I'm able to do them. I found that that's like the best way to reinforce anything is by just like kind of verbally saying them and you know reinforcing them into your mind almost like uh, existentially. I not existentially. That's not the correct terminology for that, but just outside of your own brain. You can say a lot of things. You're like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. But you never really get around to it. But actually, like almost verbalizing it helps. If anybody's a psychiatrist or something, I'm sure that's like a study or something. It's like reassurance or whatever. But yeah, I found out that I put things off aside a lot, and that's not something that I'm very proud of. So, using this as a stepping stone to be like, oh, I should do that. I should get myself creatively out there. Is I think that's a really cool idea. Just because while I'm doing this, I can be like, oh, I wanna try this. I wanna do this idea. Um, the main focus I have right now is writing. I know it's not a big grandiose thing. I'm not making a movie. I'm not making this 3-part video like monologue or something about how to fix your life in 30 days. I'm writing, and it's genuinely been a really big passion of mine for such a long time. I just felt that I wasn't capable of drawing the attention of people. And it's mostly because of my own self-esteem. It's not something that I'm proud of, but it is something that I acknowledge. Um, it's just like a fear. It's not even a fear of critique because I really enjoy critique because you're able to see where people's point of views are coming from because everyone takes in content a different way. Like someone can take a book in a different meaning, and it's really cool because you're able to see how they perceive things through how they perceive your writing. But it's more of just like it's a fear of letting down because I've always really enjoyed almost forcefully imaginative books, not books that are like I hate these like very lettery. I don't know what the term is for it, but just like so much detail. Like oh he flipped the light switch and he could feel the grain on his finger as the electricity flowed through the back. That feels so unnecessary because the point of the book is the actions and the thoughts and the emotions the characters are feeling rather than the actions or like how they said them or how it's the point is what they do, how they do it, and who they are as characters. So I've always felt that if I don't add enough lettering or it doesn't captivate the attention of people. But I also have the fear that like doing that kind of writing is what deters people because it's like such a thin line. If you don't make it interesting enough for people to read, no one's going to pick up to read your book. But at the same time, if you don't add enough detail, it's going to be just kind of like an onslaught of sentences that don't really conjoin together properly. But yeah, I've been writing since I was a kid. When I was about 8 years old, I had an iPod Touch, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna write a movie, and I wrote this like 3-page like dialogue between some characters, and it was like it was about this like detective and whatever, and his best friend got shot, but he like lived somehow because he had a metal plate in his forehead, and it was just like such a stereotypically childish thing to do, But the fire of that not ideology, the fire of that experience never really strayed from me, because I've always wanted to create stories like that kind of story. Although kind of ridiculous and kind of unnecessary, that it's not even satisfaction, but it's like, man, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a thrilling kind of feeling of being able to tell a story that you came up with in your own way, and that really never left me. So, um, it's kind of the same story. The title is the same. I'm not going to reveal the title just yet, because one of the projects I am working on is a kind of like a dialogue, not a dialogue, but like a um, man, it's not even. What is the word I'm thinking of? I guess it is just kind of just a podcast between my best friend and I, who's also been writing for a very long time, who I am so surprised has not like burnt out like me. I'm sure he has, he just doesn't really talk about it. But it's, where did I even go with this point? Oh my god. Man, title of it, I like, it's left, it's gone. Man, what was I even gonna say? Cut to me remembering what I was gonna say, please. My project. It does have the same name as the story that I wrote when I was a child, and I think that's kind of just cool, because it's playing like a homage to my original idea. It's obviously not the same idea. It doesn't have the same premise at all, but it's adapted. So I guess it's kind of like behind the scenes. I'll say it again, in our show and our podcast, but it has gone through a lot of revisions. I had a plan to make it an actual movie, very low budget, very like, home movie kind of style. But I did have that plan, and then just things fell through, and people weren't able to play roles and whatever. But that kind of inspired me to keep going. So I rewrote it again. I started writing backstories. I started writing all these things, to the point where I have gotten a timeline of how I want to write these novels. And I originally wanted to make them short stories, but just to kind of play a more like not a detrimental, but like a serious avenue into like what I want to be as a creative person. I want to make it a novel, because that would be so cool. Like, having the fact that like I wrote a novel that may or may not have been enjoyed by people. I wrote a novel at the age of 20. Like, that would be so cool. Because why not? Because that's going to be unique to who I am. And that is really cool. So that is the big goal. That is the big goal. Maybe I'll finish it by the time I'm 20. Maybe I'll be 21. But the big goal is to finish it and to actually have it out there for people to enjoy or not enjoy. I don't really care. It's going to be out there. I do care, because it'd be really cool if people could also enjoy it. But I also understand how hard it is to be a writer in itself. And I don't have any sort of name behind me. Okay. I just tried to craft dirt. Am I stupid? Okay, let's make the base of the house. You know what, actually? Let me do this so I can get some food going. I don't know. Whatever topics y'all want me to discuss, please comment them in the comments. I will be looking through them. But, it'd be cool if you guys let me know what you want me to discuss. Just because I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I can have some topics that would be pretty cool. I know my opinion isn't Doesn't matter. But if you came here and you watched this far, that means you do care a little bit. So, yeah. Okay, one. I like being very even with my builds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do this. So this will be the entrance. Oh, wow. I didn't realize how cool the little forest that I'm around is. Okay. We'll do this. We'll do this. Let me make some stairs to kind of make them, to make it easier to get in. I'll do this. I don't need that one. And then I need more planks. We'll bring them up like this. And then I'll just build the frame. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4. Let me get some more wood. I don't need to make this house too big because I'm just starting and I just kind of want a place to live for the moment. I just need I just need shelter. That's all I need for now. I do want it to look cool, but my creativity's kind of sapped because I'm filming this at midnight. So maybe if I do an earlier episode, it'll give me some more inspiration to do cool ideas. Awesome. Okay, get that corner set up. And then I guess we can put one on each corner like this, because I do want it to have that like look of it being held in the water to look kind of semi-realistic. Okay, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. Uh-oh, did I do this uneven? I did not. I'm just going insane. Okay. Cool. We'll do that. We'll take the last stair we have here. We'll put cobble on either side. Now we got a little entrance. I guess I'll just finish filling this up. So we have a semi-wall. Let me break this piece. And then we'll do that. Okay, we'll make this a lot prettier. But just for time, and just because I do have a life outside of this, I am going to cut the video there. Thank you guys for, if you stayed the whole way through, for staying. If you have any ideas for any questions that you want me to kind of discuss, let me know in the comments below. I can't commit a pact because I'm not gonna give myself a stressor for continuing this series so much, but I do want to get this bi-weekly at least. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.